So as many of us obviously in this room know, Silicon Flatirons has great events, roundtables, seminars, and symposia here in Colorado. It has also, particularly in the last few years, done more and more in Washington, D.C., not in the least because Phil plans the events for us out there, even when he doesn't work for us. But seriously, we have, I think, reach to Washington, D.C. in many of our activities, not just bringing D.C. here, but going to D.C. One of the, I think, I'm at least positively optimistic and hopeful things that Silicon Flatirons has spawned is the Broadband Internet Technical Advisory Group, which happened only because of the moral authority that someone like Dale Hatfield can bring into a room of fractious and not necessarily in agreement members of the Internet community. But I do want to bring in someone now from the Washington side of Silicon Flatirons, who fortunately can, in 3 minutes, fit in 10 minutes worth of material. And that's my colleague and partner from Washington, Bryan-Tramont.
Thank you, Ray. It's great to be here. It's a real honor. Excuse me. So, in thinking about what I would speak about tonight, I paused a little bit on the title of tonight's event, which is the passing of the baton. And I ran track in high school, and so I was on the 4x800 meter relay team. And for those of you who are not track folks, there is a very precise way that you have to pass the baton, right? So the runner is moving quickly. You're not supposed to miss a stride. The person you're passing the baton to is supposed to push their hand back, and they call hand, and then the baton's supposed to go seamlessly into your next runner's hand, and you're supposed to take off, all without missing a stride. And there are many tragic stories, for those of you who are Olympic fans as well, of dropped batons, stumbling baton passes. And so my high school track coach would repeatedly drill us on the importance of handing off the baton the right way. Practice, 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 common goals, with a common purpose, and making sure that everyone on the team, whether they're the eldest senior or the greenest freshman, participated in the passing of the baton, and the pacing and the fact that your strides matched and all those things, because you did, under no circumstances did you want to lose any momentum from the race from the passing of the baton. And I thought that in thinking about that metaphor for tonight, it was a very apt one for Silicon Flatirons, because here too, some of the goals of some of the emblems of an effective baton pass have also been realized. One is a sense of common goals and common values. And it starts with Phil and with Dale, but extends to Paul and to Brad and others, newer arrivals like Preston. Anna is the backbone of the process. But whenever you put an effective organization together, they have to share common goals and common values. And when you do, even the transition of losing Phil to Washington for a couple of years is a seamless event, because everyone who's left behind shares a common vision of what we're all here to do. And it's an honest intellectual pursuit of the right answers in an open and safe environment, and where students come first. And that's a pretty extraordinary thing, and it's a testament to the leadership of the law school and to Phil and Dale and to Dean Getches for the fact that that common sense of common goals and purposes was achieved. The second principle from the effective baton pass is the precise and effective execution. And I can assure you that as Anna and others have detailed, continued after Dale's ascension. In fact, I think some might argue it got better, in part because a sense of normalcy returned to some of the halls of power in Washington, which made a more open exchange a little more possible. We shouldn't get into that. But once again, Silicon Flatirons has returned to it as its sort of the convener of first resort for the types of important intellectual discussions that guide telecommunications and entrepreneurship, privacy and other issues. Dale's role with the VTAG, as Ray just alluded to, is further evidence of the esteem in which he is held in that role in Washington, and more broadly the role of Silicon Flatirons. So there's real evidence and an excellent track record on the precise and effective execution. The third is never missing a step, and I must say that I can cite to just one story, and many people in the room participated. You know, as I mentioned, students coming first has been a core value of Silicon Flatirons from the very beginning. Earlier this summer, one of our interns in Washington had his internship fall through at the very last minute, as in 6 days before he was supposed to move to Washington. At which point, the calls went out and the cavalry rode in. I know Preston and Brad and Dale and Phil and myself and a host of people quickly gathered in support of the student. I think he had 4 jobs within 48 hours. And I got at least one call from a senior official of the FCC and said, "Who the heck is this kid? Like, what are these people calling for him?" I said, "Just another student of Silicon Flatirons. That's the way we roll." So at any rate, he quickly landed an excellent job and is very happy in Washington. So we did not miss a step in taking care of the kids first. And finally, I do want to focus a bit on the students, which is training for the next generation. And I did have an opportunity before I left DC to sit down with the 3 Hatfield scholars, with Chris, Doug, and Inaris. And I can assure you they're doing terrific. I was heartened. 2 of them are working for Republicans, which is a relatively rare fate. Warms my heart. But rare to find law students who are interested in that sort of thing. But they're doing a great job, and they're really embracing the Washington experience. And as part of their academic work and their externships, they of course have core responsibilities, but everyone here in the Silicon Flatirons family and folks who are alums in Washington have arranged sort of a series of events that have exposed them to all sorts of terrific issues and policymakers, and a very strong mentoring network that is really a tribute to all the terrific work that has been done over the years at Silicon Flatirons. So for me and for my high school cross-country coach, congratulations on a baton well passed. You have a lot to be proud of. Congratulations.